Hey folks, welcome to my first ever film POV. Today we're going to be using some Ilford HP5 Plus, so it's going to be mostly black and white, but we are going to end on some Portrait 400. So I decided to walk around London for most of the day, starting in Covent Gardens. As you can see, I've spotted two vans here that are parked very closely next to each other. And I thought it could be a nice frame, so I'm just kind of waiting for someone to walk in the centre. Thankfully I didn't have to wait too long, as there was this guy and I assume his kid coming down the centre, which looked kind of cool. I do get kind of picked up here by someone who thought I was working for the company that parked the vans, which I thought was a bit odd.
Yeah, you're good. Sorry?
Work for lunch.
Oh, no. I'm just like photographing stuff.
So I tend to shoot with a 85mm prime just because it lets me stay further away, and it's very punched in, so it looks quite nice. But today I'm using a 50mm 1.4 with a Canon A1, so I have to step forward a little bit more if I want the same effect, and I'm not really used to that, so you'll see for a lot of these shots I'm quite far away. I stuck around this market bit for a while just because I like the lighting. I like the contrast between the bright spotlights and sort of the dark backgrounds. Sometimes I can get a little bit too much, like here. You can see the exposure's not quite right, but oh, it's kind of fun to play around with. I was filming this a little while before Christmas, so it was really busy. It's not too bad in this scene, but just trying to find a clear subject in this like sea of people is quite difficult. I found this lady between these pillars and she looked really cool just because, you know, she's framed there and there's some nice lighting in the back. And we got a similar thing here with this guy on the left. I quite liked his outfit and the bit of compression that you get from the 50mm that you can see on the right. So if you've ever been to Covent Gardens, you'll know that there's a lot of street performers. In this case I saw one near the market and lots of people were taking pictures, and I managed to nab a picture of this guy taking a picture. I quite like these just because you get a nice bokeh, a nice smooth background. So I didn't stay in Covent Gardens for too long just because it was getting quite busy, you know, pre-Christmas shopping. But I did meet up with my friend Josh, who's right here, and we were sticking around here looking at the ceiling because there was this reflective material, and we were trying to get shots of people going past, as you can see here. I'm not actually taking a shot here, this was done when I wasn't filming. I'm not really very happy with the shot just because it's quite hard to get the subject separation from the 50mm, and the subject is supposed to be the person walking past with the background being the reflection from the mirror. But I mean, I suppose it's worth a shot, you know. You never know what the shot is going to be like until you take it. So after this we went on the actual photo walk and just walked around London. We spotted another funky looking ceiling, and you can see, yeah, there's like weird patterns going on. I tried to frame another person inside one of the triangles, but again with a 50mm it's quite hard. I don't even think it'll look very good with the 85 just because that's probably too punched in and you kind of miss out on the triangles. I also got one of Josh here taking a photo. So after walking around for a while, we came across this huge horde of people like riding horses, which was really strange because they went past and it lasted like 5 minutes. So yeah, we got a shot of this guy and his horse framed between two buses, which was kind of cool. But yeah, we were really confused at what was going on. They kind of walked past and then they like park their horses randomly on the street. Not quite sure what's going on. So yeah, we can see a horse here just chilling. The owner has walked off somewhere to do something. We're not sure what. I get a quick like portrait shot here.
This is very strange.
I guess the person who owns it has just sort of went into a big...
They're all like going different directions.
I couldn't tell you.
What is going on?
Yeah, so we're still a bit confused about the horses here. So Josh continues taking pictures of the horse, and I try to get a few shots of him using the scaffolding as a frame. I feel like framing is one of the easier techniques in photography, just because if you look, there's a lot of frames that you can sort of use in the world. Like I get this frame with a horse.
Very weird.
It doesn't always look amazing, but it's kind of fun to play around with. And I get one with my phone, just as a little souvenir. And once again, I try and go for the framing shot, but this time with the scaffolding and this like ladder thing. Josh does move here, which makes my life a little bit difficult. But yeah, the shot's alright. It's a little busy, but you can kind of see him there. So a lot of the time when I'm taking photos, I have like two modes that I call it. There's like the photography mode when I'm trying to go for what looks best, and just kind of like touristy holiday mode where I'm just taking pictures for the sake of taking pictures. This shot here was definitely more of like the touristy memory type of photos, where I just want to take a picture of this guy wedged between two horses. I quite like framing it like this, just because if you think of yourself as in like the holiday mode, there's much less pressure on taking the best photo, and it's just trying to remember the moment and take whatever's there. So at this point we come to this venue. I'm not exactly sure what this place is called, but I'll put up a picture of the map here. And it's basically loads of projectors projecting this like giant picture on the wall. It looks super cool. There were lots of people taking pictures and videos and stuff. So with phones out, of course, I try to get pictures of people taking pictures. I think it worked out extra well here, just because the background was sort of like this starry texture type thing, and the guy here sort of looking up with his phone, taking a picture, and it's you can kind of feel like a sort of wonder from him as he looks up. And there's another similar shot here of someone looking up, taking a photo, staring at this cartoon bear thing as he waves. And that's the last of my black and white film. So after this, I did switch to my Sony a7 III, my digital camera, just because film is expensive. I tend to bring out two cameras, just because I can continue shooting. So I did shoot digital for a while, which I might post at some point. But at the end of the day, I did go back to my film camera, because I had an extra roll of Portrait 400 in my bag. So I started shooting that. We headed towards the Battersea Power Station, because that was new and they had a Christmas market and stuff, and it looked really cool. I also wanted to try Portrait 400 in low light, because I've never done that before. So we met with our friend Yemi, who is right here. It was quite dark, and I was shooting with the Portrait 400, which is basically ISO 400, and it does not brighten the image up very much. Josh is taking a picture here, and I'm trying to get a shot of him looking at his camera. It's quite cool because you can push the aperture low, really low, so you get some nice bokeh here. And oh, the moon was also really bright that night, so yeah, I tried to get a picture of the moon. Turned out okay. I mean, you can't really see texture on the moon or anything, but you can see the clouds around it. And to end the night, we were taking photos around these trees, which had an obscene amount of Christmas lights on them. And of course, if you have a lens that has a 1.4 aperture, you kind of look for opportunities to go down as low as possible to get that smooth bokeh. So here I'm taking a portrait of Josh. I get one landscape and portrait as well. I think these photos were my favorite photos of the night. Just because it shows the lovely warm color that you get from Portrait 400. It fits the theme of the time that I took it. It was just before Christmas, so super warm but also cold at the same time. You can see Josh with a coat on, and yeah, it just looks very Christmassy with the lights. It was actually really hard to get it in focus, because I wear glasses and it was really cold, so whenever I put my face up to the viewfinder will fog up, and yeah, when it's fogged up you can't really tell what's in focus or not. To end this POV, I decided to take a picture of just the lights, out of focus, to get as much bokeh as possible, just because I want to see what it looked like. It's like, as I said before, you never know until you take it, and especially with film, you'll find out in like 2-3 weeks. So yeah, enjoy this lovely bokeh picture, and hope to see you next time.